Right now, following the recent 5-year anniversary of the Parkland shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, hear from students that helped organize Wisconsin's March for Our Lives rally and how they're still fighting, and also learn how local health officials are working to reduce gun violence here in Madison. And we've got an alert day in the forecast that could cause for a messy morning commute to start your week. Meteorologist Alex Harrington is in tracking the latest conditions. Those top stories and more coming up right now at 5:30. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm McKenna Alexander. It's been 5 years since the mass shooting at a Parkland high school sparked some of the largest gun violence prevention protests in the nation. And as our Nicole Herzog explains, members of Gen Z are still at the forefront of that movement. Nicole?
That's right, McKenna. I talked to UW-Madison students today who are using their platform on campus to try to make a change.
When is it going to be enough?
A question members of Gen Z have been asking for nearly their whole lives.
With Sandy Hook, we were in elementary school. I was almost the exact same age as those children. When Parkland happened, we were, within a year or two.
5 years ago, we saw these chilling images. A Valentine's Day marked by tragedy, when a gunman opened fire on students and staff at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, killing 17 people and injuring 17 others. Just a day before the 5-year anniversary of the Parkland shooting, another mass shooting at Michigan State University. For some UW-Madison students, it hit close to home.
We just feel heartbroken for this peer campus where we see ourselves in that student body. We see ourselves in the people that are injured and were sadly killed.
It prompted them to write an op-ed for the Daily Cardinal student newspaper.
And we are not going to stay quiet about these issues because it affects every single person on this campus, every single person at a Big Ten campus, and literally any student in a school in this country.
They're not the only students at the forefront of the gun violence prevention movement. The shooting in Parkland prompted some of the largest gun violence prevention protests in the country, many of them led by teenagers and young adults. In Wisconsin, the March for Our Lives protest was almost entirely organized by people under 25, followed by walkouts at high schools across the state.
We kind of realize that it will be our generation that's likely going to be finally passing legislation that's going to make a difference and finally start to change this. Because I think our generation has really been the one to bear the burden, bear the cost, bear the lost lives.
And those students tell me they're hopeful that fighting for that change will help make a difference.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Another solemn anniversary today as people in New York City are commemorating the 30th anniversary of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. People could be seen gathering at the National 9/11 Memorial in downtown Manhattan, where the World Trade Center used to be. This morning, a ceremony was held to mark the tragedy that took the lives of 6 people. Among the speakers in attendance, Senator Chuck Schumer spoke to this event 3 decades ago, highlighting New York's resiliency in times of despair, saying in part, every time people have questioned if Lower Manhattan will retain its vibrancy, its resiliency, its spirit, looking around this morning, I think that the answer is clear. Just like the memory of the 6 people who were tragically killed 30 years ago, the unique spirit of New York lives on. Let's take a look now at your first run forecast with meteorologist Alex Harrington. Alex, another gorgeous day out there, but it sounds like things might be changing.
Yeah, McKenna and folks, it's definitely going to be changing out here in the patio. I would say progress on the patio again today. In the temperature department, it is dry, but we might have to call this ponding on the patio in just a few short hours as heavy rainfall moves towards southern Wisconsin. But look at Doppler track right now, nothing to be seen. But this weather system is to the south and to the west, and it is going to be cranking towards the state very rapidly overnight tonight going into Monday. Temperatures warmer than where they were this time yesterday. Again, a beautiful day, dry. Temperatures still in the upper 30s across the area. We did 40 in Madison. Our friends to the west in Bosqueville at 45 to the east in Watertown. At 40, planning your day or your evening for that matter, temperatures will slip down to 30 degrees. That's a critical temperature. We got alert days in the forecast for freezing rain, some snow and heavy rain. We'll break down all the totals coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Alex. In international news tonight in Italy, at least 58 migrants are dead after their wooden boat broke apart after hitting rocks off the country's eastern coast this morning. The body of an infant and several women and children have been pulled from the Mediterranean Sea, and around 80 people clinging to wooden shards in the water did have to be rescued. It's unclear where the ship had launched from, but the survivors are reportedly from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. Over in Kenya, First Lady Jill Biden is winding down her trip to Africa. She spent the last day of her trip visiting a drought response site. The visit comes as the Horn of Africa has experienced the, quote, worst drought in 7 generations, leaving 4 million people with insufficient access to food. Biden says the United States is providing about 70% of the money going into the region to help and called on other nations to step up their aid to the region. Today's visit marked the last stop on Jill Biden's 5-day tour of Africa, which took her to Nambia in Kenya. To the crisis in Ukraine now, Republican House Foreign Affairs Chairman Michael McCaul is calling on the Biden administration to give Ukraine more weapons systems. Today, McCaul said lawmakers are planning on putting in measures into spending bills, prioritizing weapons for Ukraine. He argues that not providing these weapons plays right into Putin's hands.
But the fact is, if we don't give them everything, if they don't get the momentum right now, with the Russian offensive coming into country right now, they have a window of time with the counteroffensive. That's why it's important when I talk to these top military officers, give them everything that you can now so they can win this thing. When we give them what they can really use and ask for, they win. When we slow walk and slow pace this thing, it drags it out, and that's precisely what Putin wants.
President Joe Biden and senior administration officials have said that for now, Ukraine does not require the advanced fighter jets. The head of the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency says the alliance between Russia and Iran is moving at a pace that is, quote, disturbing. Today, CIA Director William Burns reporting that Iran has already provided hundreds of armed drones to Russians, which are then being used in the nation's ongoing attack in Ukraine. Burns says that U.S. military leaders are concerned about what Russia, in turn, could do to help Iran.
Russia is proposing to help the Iranians on their missile program and also at least considering the possibility of providing fighter aircraft to Iran as well. So it's, quite disturbing set of developments.
When asked about whether Iran's leaders have decided to pursue a nuclear weapon, Burns says they have yet to make a decision to resume their weaponization program. Still tonight at 5:30, the FDA is warning of a rare brain condition that has been linked to a recent vaccine. After the break, you'll learn which vaccine is causing this concern and who is most at risk. Stay with us. We'll be right back on News 3 Now.
All right, team. We got a big project coming up. And it all starts with ordering promotional products.
I'm on it.
4imprint makes it easy to get the logoed products you're looking for. The latest in apparel, drinkware, bags, high-tech items, and more. You can be certain of getting it right at 4imprint.com.
Come on out. I'm on it.
4imprint, for certain.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you, thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Hi, Susan. Honey.
Yeah?
I respect that, but that cough looks pretty bad. Try this Robitussin, honey.
The real honey you love, plus the powerful cough relief you need.
Mind if I root through your trash?
Robitussin, the only brand with real honey and elderberry.
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30.
Welcome back. In Health News tonight, a new report from the Department of Energy suggests the COVID-19 pandemic most likely came from a laboratory leak in China. U.S. government officials have been divided over whether the pandemic was caused by a Chinese lab leak or just emerged naturally from the wild. A senior U.S. intelligence official told the Wall Street Journal that new information caused the department to make this updated assessment. The intelligence community has repeatedly noted that a lack of cooperation from Beijing has made it difficult to get to the bottom of the question of just exactly where COVID-19 originated. A rare brain condition has been linked to a Pfizer vaccine for respiratory syncytial virus. That's according to the U.S. Federal Drug Administration, which reports 2 people who received the RSV vaccine were later diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome. RSV is a highly contagious virus that causes flu-like illness in people of all ages that increases in severity with age. Guillain-Barré syndrome leads to muscle weakness and sometimes paralysis, as it causes the immune system to attack its own nerves. It attacks up to 3 of 100,000 adults aged 60 and over each year. And there's another health threat, as the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is warning people about rising concerns over a drug-resistant bacteria. CDC officials say the bacteria, called Shigella, and infections from it can cause a fever, abdominal cramping, and other serious stomach problems. While typically Shigella typically affects young children, officials from the CDC say they have slowly started to see more of the antimicrobial resistant infections in adult populations. Those populations include men who have sex with men, people experiencing homelessness, international travelers, and people living with HIV. According to the CDC, there are limited antimicrobial treatments available for these particular drug-resistant strains. When it comes to telehealth prescriptions, some governmental limits may soon restrict the controversial ease of access. This week, the Drug Enforcement Agency proposed new rules to require patients have an in-person medical evaluation before being prescribed most prescription medications by their doctors. Patients would still be able to get less addictive medications like antibiotics or birth control prescribed to them by their doctors via telehealth. But prescriptions for other drugs to help with pain or sleep, for example, could still be prescribed via telehealth, but a patient would need an in-person evaluation before getting a refill. One DEA official says the agency wants to expand telemedicine, but with guardrails that prevent the online overprescribing of controlled medications that could cause harm. Stay with us. Alex has your full First One forecast coming up after the break.
Is the canned tuna you're eating exposing you to harmful levels of mercury?
Monday, our experts put some popular brands to the test, and we'll tell you what they found out.
And we're tracking our next storm system. Will it bring us rain or snow? Join us Monday between 4:30 and 7.
At Pick and Save,
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833-WISC-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
When your door is always open, so is the fridge. At Pick and Save, however you shop, in-store, pickup, or delivery, you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards. That's a win-win-win. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30.
Looking across the U.S. tonight to the west, where California officials are closing Yosemite National Park for a few days because of severe weather. Park officials announced Saturday that the park will be closed through Wednesday. The National Weather Service has also issued a blizzard warning for the Yosemite Valley until Wednesday as well. Officials say travel on all park roads is restricted to administrative traffic only. That includes all campgrounds and hiking areas inside the park. Now, staying in California, where startling new video shows at least 3 motorhomes being swept into a river. Authorities in Valencia, northwest of Los Angeles, say this happened Saturday at an RV park. You can see how Santa Clara's river rushing waters from the recent storm washed out portions of the embankment. 2 RVs fell into the river at around 2:30 in the morning, after which park officials started moving some of those RVs away from the river. But a 3rd RV was not able to move in time and also fell into the water. The RV park in total lost water and power, but luckily no injuries have been reported. Let's get a look at your first one forecast meteorologist Alex Harrington. Alex, some pretty crazy weather all around the country right now.
Yeah, I'll say, and it's that weather system that's plaguing the American Southwest. It's moving rapidly towards southern Wisconsin. That's why we have alert day conditions that are going to rapidly develop across southern Wisconsin. This is part 1, and that's for Juneau and Adams counties for a winter weather advisory late Sunday night. So later tonight going on to at least noon Monday for freezing rain and snow. Could be enough of it to make those roads pretty icy up in those areas north of Madison. Rest of southern Wisconsin, we have an alert day for heavy rainfall, possibly some localized flooding in some areas. If you know you're one of those susceptible areas when that water runs off, you need to be on the lookout as we go Monday into Monday afternoon. As that water drains, has nowhere to go. We've got that deep snowpack across the area and frozen grounds. Here's that weather system, this dip in the jet stream. That's that river of air where all of our weather systems ride on. And we got a weather system moving towards southern Wisconsin, causing an outbreak of tornadoes right now and strong, gusty, damaging winds across the southern plains. We won't see severe weather here in southern Wisconsin from that weather system, but we will get the remnants of all that heavy rain. Look at that to the south and the west towards Kansas, Nebraska, portions of Oklahoma. That's going to be moving towards the north and towards the east, and we can use our future track model to pinpoint everything. Take a look at this as we head into the wee hours of your Monday morning, south and west of Madison. Temperatures quite critical in the upper 20s, lower 30s. In the central part of the state, we're sitting right in that dividing line here in Madison. So to the north, that's where we could see some of that pink activity. That is the freezing rain. Look at all of the greens and the yellows and the oranges for the rest of southern Wisconsin. This is that heavy rain, maybe a clap or 2 of thunder, the remnants of those thunderstorms off to the south and the west. Here's the main center area of low pressure moving towards Dubuque as we go into Monday morning, and that will sweep across the very southern tier of southern Wisconsin. Temperatures will rise briefly and then start to take a tumble with gusty winds behind that weather system too as we go Monday night into Tuesday, and then maybe another weather system Tuesday night going into Wednesday. There's that winter weather advisory to the north up towards Juneau and Adams counties. More appreciable winter weather further to the north if you have traveled towards the northern portions of the state, where we could be looking at some appreciable ice accumulations. The rest of the state, again, the heavy rainfall. Look at this, maybe upwards of 2 inches of rain for portions of southern Wisconsin. So we could be looking at some flooding. If you are folks out towards Crawford County, if you're to the south and east, down towards Rock and Walworth and Greene counties, need to be on the lookout. Could be seeing some local rise in those streams and those rivers, and then that water will move into the rest of the watershed as we go Monday into Tuesday. So localized flooding conditions a possibility, and the Climate Prediction Center is saying more precipitation chances as we go into early March. 30 degrees tonight, heavy rain mix late. That's when those alert day conditions will move into southern Wisconsin. It will carry on through much of the day tomorrow. Breezy, that mix north, heavy rain elsewhere. There's that alert day as we go into your Monday. Temperatures, though, staying mild. Another weather system Tuesday night going into Wednesday could bring some snow shower activity, and staying rather unsettled as we go later into the week. Still watching a weather system late Thursday and Friday. It might take a dip to the south, but definitely Something to stay tuned to the station, channel3000.com, and the First Warn Weather app for. And then things McKenna after that are going to stay pretty unsettled too.
Going to be very busy for you guys for a little bit.
Indeed,
Definitely
we will.
want to stay up to date with you guys.
Yes.
Thanks, Alex.
You bet.
And just a reminder, you can stay up to date on the weather with our First Warn Forecast weather app. It is hourly forecast, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Still ahead, both Badger squads taking on Michigan today. Jordan has highlights from those games, plus the Bucks' 14th straight win. Next in sports.
You've got this. 10 days, 2 kids, and the open road. Tourist traps? Set. Souvenir allowances? Dispersed. Juice boxes? Abundant. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you, with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So when must-see attractions become must-pay with cash adventures, we've got you.
Mom, why is the front door open?
You've got this with Associated Bank.
Who's on it with Jardians?
Free. Jump. We're the ones getting it done.
We're managing type 2 diabetes and heart risk.
We're on it with Jardians.
Join the growing number of people who are on it with the once daily pill, Jardians. Jardians not only lowers A1C, it goes beyond to reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. And Jardians may help you lose some weight.
Jardians may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardians and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardians with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
A once daily pill that goes beyond lowering A1C?
We're on it.
We're on it. We're on it with Jardians.
Ask your doctor about Jardians.
Extremist Dan Kelly wants abortion banned, even in cases of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. For years, Kelly was on the payroll of a radical anti-abortion group working to take away women's rights. On the court, Kelly will uphold Wisconsin's 1849 criminal abortion ban that strips women of their freedom to make personal decisions on abortion. Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
Hitting the road with snowbikers, Monday at 10.
Heading into the weekend, Wisconsin men's basketball was looking like one of the last 4 teams into the NCAA tournament, according to Joe Lenardi's bracketology report. So clearly, if the Badgers want in, they got to be playing their best basketball, especially with round 2 with Michigan. Naturally, this one is close, less than 30 seconds to go, down by 1. Connor Essegian drains the J, 2 of his now career-high 24 points. Well, the Badgers are sitting pretty. They take a 3-point lead into the final second, where Max Klesmit doing what he can to keep it that way. A monster block in the corner, but Hunter Dickinson negates it at the buzzer with a triple to send this one to overtime. Now Klesmit's doing it all this afternoon. He gives UW back the lead with a 3-ball. But Kobe Buffkin's bucket and 1 is going to lock it up for Michigan. The Badgers fall 87-79 in overtime. They're going to split the series. Just 2 games remain in the regular season. They got 5th-ranked Purdue at home coming up next. Back here in Madison, the women's team closing out the regular season with Senior Day. And against 12th-ranked Michigan, what a game for Bucky. Trailing by 1 in the second half, Julie Pashpishleva knocks down the jumper, 2 of her game-high 25, and UW's on top. But Michigan isn't going anywhere just yet. They tied up at 44. Now here comes Avery LaBarbera from distance, gives the Badgers the lead for good. They upset Michigan 78-70, their first win over them since 2014. UW earns a first-round bye for the Big Ten tourney, which begins on Wednesday. The Bucks just keep proving how dangerous of a team they are. They might have lost Giannis on Friday night to a right knee injury, but the team managed to keep their win streak alive.
It's the NBA. I think no matter where it is, up 8 with 6 minutes left or whatever, we feel like we always have a chance. We've come back from a lot worse, maybe not in that time, but.
Brewers with a split squad this afternoon on the road to face the Rockies and hosting the Athletics. Both outings, they're rough. They lose to Colorado 12-6 and the A's 11-4. And in case you missed it last night, Badger women's hockey is Minneapolis bound for the WCHA final faceoff. UW completed the sweep of Minnesota State just yesterday to punch their ticket to their 13th straight final faceoff. The Badgers are set to face the Gophers on Friday in the semifinals. Puck drops at 5.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Not attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now.
Call 1-800-336-0524.
Hi, Susan. Honey.
Yeah?
I respect that, but that cough looks pretty bad. Try this Robitussin, honey.
The real honey you love, plus the powerful cough relief you need.
Mind if I root through your trash?
Robitussin, the only brand with real honey and elderberry.
All right, well, after such a beautiful weekend, you'd hope it continues, but it sounds like that might not be the case as we start our commute tomorrow, Alex.
Yeah, unfortunately, the calm and nice weather we've had over the weekend is going to make a rapid change overnight tonight. Let's look at the graphics. We've got alert days in effect for Juneau and Adams County for freezing rain and snow. Could see some slick spots during that morning commute tomorrow up north of Madison. The rest of southern Wisconsin, we're looking at rain and quite a bit of it. Heavy rainfall. Could look at looking at some localized flooding and ponding of water in areas that are susceptible because that water doesn't have a whole lot of places to go. The snow will soak some of it in, but not all of it in. And then after that, we are going to keep the train of weather systems going. It's going to be active in the weather department this week.
Something to watch. Thanks, Alex, and thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here with more news tonight at 10.